So I've come to learn that the most authentic and raw moments is no filter, um, just coming as you are. So this is me this morning coming to you raw and authentic. And because I have a raw and authentic word, I'm in a very vulnerable place this morning. And I actually created my YouTube channel called The Sum of It for that reason. I wanted something that was genuine, something that was authentic, and something that people can relate to, which is what we rarely get in today's time because social media doesn't give you much raw and authentic moments. And sometimes they do, but this morning I'm just having a raw moment. So for those of you that know me, those of you that may follow me on social media, if not, and if this is your first time, I host a prayer line Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. every single morning. It is dear to me. It has helped me. It has developed me. And on another day, I'll explain to you how that particular prayer line got started. But this morning, that's not why I came on. So I don't want to get off the topic. Um, I took a break from the prayer line this week and I hosted the prayer line Monday and Tuesday. And I advised that we will resume on Monday. Um, and I'm sure I need more time, but I realized that even in my praying time, even in the conversations that I'm having with God, even in the things that are happening in my life, that I had to take a break. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to be encouraged to know what you need and when you need it. Even if you know there's a call on your life or there's this passion inside of you, and sometimes you feel like I can't afford to take a break, or this is what God called me to do. However, God do call us to a particular task. He called us to a particular responsibility and a duty, but he also give to us wisdom and knowledge to know how to handle the capacity of that thing he's called you to. And when I began to feel overwhelmed, I understood that I needed that break because it added quality to me. And what happens is if you're called to a responsibility or a task or a duty, that means that you got to find a way to become refueled. And you can't continue to go at the same pace all the time. And so the word that God gave to me this morning was variables. Variables helped me to realize that at some point in my life, I'm going to realize that I have different features. There are different components of me, which means that I will change. We change with our age. We get older, our features change. We get wiser, our features change. Features such as your attributes or your morals or standards, and your life begin to be built upon principles. Principles bring order in an alignment with who you are in whatever season you're in. And I had to deal with all of these components. I had to deal with all of these elements and see these features that were changing, because when features are changing and you're still trying to operate in an old way, then it hinders your elevation. And so I realized the beauty and the quality that God was trying to add to me, but I had to get out of my way, which means that if I got to shut something down to hear clearly from God, that's exactly what I'm going to do, because it's beneficial to me as well as the others that are looking up to me, or as others that I'm helping. I don't want to pretend that I've got it all together. I want people to see that what I have together is my discernment and my obedience to hear God, and not to continue to tread upon a pathway that I feel like I'm capable of doing. Of course, God has given all of us a pathway to purpose, but knowing when to break is necessary. And so he let me know this morning that my assertiveness, it requires being disciplined. It requires being critiqued, because some of the things or thoughts that I deal with, God has to deal with those things, the quality of your thoughts. And just this little time, you know, I have learned so much. Just even this morning, it reminded me that the variables of my life is going to change. The variables of my features and accolades, they're going to change, which means declarations will change. As you know, appropriately, they'll change, but I got to know when to shift with that change. And this was one of those moments. So when he spoke to me this morning, he was letting me know that sometimes the way I tell a story in my head, that sometimes it's just not the way it is. Or if it is, we can get into our emotions and we can go to God and share with him why certain things are happening in your life. But let's talk about the good things too, and the grace and mercy that he has given to us. Don't leave that out. We have just as much right to have gratitude than we do to be sad. That shows me that sometimes as a human being, we take for granted the things that God is doing. And what happens is, if we don't understand why he's doing those things, that's where that victimized mentality come from. So the other day, I was sitting in my living room, and I got up to use the restroom. And so when I came back, I just heard the word, y'all have to excuse me, because when I say I'm looking like Mr. Brown, I got on all kind of colors this morning. But like I said, I haven't even got ready for today. So I'm giving it to you raw and uncut. But anyway, he gave to me 2 words, and that was manifold and manifest. Manifold means various. It means many. And when there's something that comes in the multitude of many and various, it can be avoided, right? Because it's too big. And we hear so often on how territories are being enlarged. When people ask for God to enlarge their territory, I'm not even sure if they realize what that means. So I'm sure in my life, I may have asked God to enlarge my territory, because in the past, that's what I heard, and I just sound holy to me, and that's what I said. But I'm very conscious of what I say to God now, because I know what it means to enlarge your territory. To some, they can comprehend enlarging territory to be something that will increase them and multiply them and make them look big, feel big. They have everything that they need. But it's so much more to enlarging a territory, baby. Enlarging your territory means that it comes with greater responsibility. It comes with a different version of who you are, which ties into what he gave me this morning with the variables of my elements, my features, and my components. Those things are changing. So my body and my mind is going through a life-changing process. So that tells me that when God said to me manifold, that he's enlarging my territory, that he's extending my territory, my wants and my needs, they are going to be met, but I have to be in an alignment with what God is doing, with the extension of what God is doing. And so he was letting me know that I'm getting ready to enlarge your territory, and it is going to be visible to the eye. It cannot be avoided. That's the manifest. And so he took me to the book of Corinthians, and I want to say it's in chapter 9. But it tells you how the Spirit is manifested for the common good of others. So me hosting a prayer line is not just good for me, but it's for the common good of others. Me having a program called New Employed Women that assists women in healing, growing, and connecting to purpose, building a community of women from different Native heritage, seeing that they get into the room and they share, provide a branch of wisdom and knowledge based on business economics, based on personal development, based on who your identity in God, based on inclinations of where you come from and how you learned how to do something, supporting one another. That's for the common good of others. That's another form of commonwealth. That's bigger than me. That's going to slide into communism and things that I have no idea of, but that's what God does. God will give you the ability for your eyes to see things that you have not witnessed, or no one has witnessed. He will give you the ability for your ears to hear something that hasn't even been overheard, or your heart to express or feel something that has never been expected or assumed. And that means that God bring you into a secret place, and he gives to you spiritual wisdom and knowledge that's not basic and that's not fundamental. So it requires your attention and your focus on God, that we don't get so caught up into our assignments that they become about us. And it gives to us a self-centered driving force and a passion for ourselves and for our own glory. And so when I realized that I was becoming overwhelmed, I had to recognize that my focus needed to be on God. And that's why I took that break. So it has, just in this little small length of time, it has done so much for me. It has filled me. Has it taken away the trials and tribulations that I'm going through? Absolutely not. Because I understand that it's almost like I'm putting that in a bag. It's almost like God says, okay, I'm giving you a gift. So I'm going to put some trials and tribulations in that bag. I'm also going to put a couple of words in that bag. And I need you to deal with those words to see what I'm doing. I need you to go to the Bible to see what message I'm trying to see, how you are intrigued by the message that I'm conveying to you, to see what revelation you're coming up with, and then as a result to see the quality that it has added to you. And I see the quality that it has added to me. I see the substance, which makes God's word so evident that I am the salt of the earth. You are the salt of the earth. It helps me to realize that he's bringing me into a secret place where I couldn't be on a prayer line poured into someone, because now there's new oil and there's new manna that he wanted me to impart into my sisters and my brothers, so that it is for the common good of them, because there's an upcoming season for them as well. And if I don't have a seasoned word, if I don't have a oil to pour into them, then I'm not giving them what they need in this season, and it's not meaningful to them. It may be good to the ear to hear something, but they need something that's meaningful. And so the common good of others is for your obedience. I have to be obedient to what God is saying and focusing on what God is doing in this season. And so that just spoke so much volume to me, to manifest and manifold that for various reasons and for meaningful statements, and just giving me something that's organic from heaven and not just from man or woman. So I'm just so full at how God does things, and how he speaks to us, and he deals with us, and how he has to chastise us. Chastising doesn't always feel good, but it is for the good. It is for the good of those that are willing to go through the crushing process and willing to go through your trials and your tribulations. When I tell you I have cried a river, I've literally cried a river. And this is a lonely process, y'all. I've been married 2 times. I've been a divorcee, but not being able to pick up the phone and express what I'm going through, or having someone I know that will understand what God is telling me, is strengthening me, and it's making me strong. But also, desiring a man that's strong enough to deal with a woman of my caliber. And women and men, if you're listening, then you understand what I mean when you carry a spiritual mindset, because we all have a spirit. We all have our own personal thoughts. I can't tell you what your thoughts are because I'm not you. But what I can say is, if I don't carry the Spirit of God, then I can't interpret the mind of God. I can't interpret or identify, recognize the character of God, or know when he's speaking, or discern when he sent someone for my common good. So I have to get in his word. I have to pray. I have to fast to know when he's speaking to me, to be able to have a humble spirit, to know that when he's chastising me, to know where he's taking me, to understand why I'm going through a season of my life that doesn't seem like what I think or feel I should be going through. It's not really a disappointment. It's really a gift. And so what God has put in your bag is just some seasoned things to help you get through what you are going through. and where you are going. And even with him adding this type of quality to me, it just helped me to override some of the things that my flesh desires when in my season of loneliness, in my season of not being able to forget certain things that happen in my life, or to let go of certain things that happen to me in my life. But if you continue to see those cycle things return, do not allow your focus to be on those things, because God has summoned you to it's almost like a treason, but God has summoned you to not reason with the flesh, but reason with the spiritual things. And know that he didn't bring me this far to compromise. He didn't bring me this far to settle for bare minimum. He didn't bring me this far for someone not to see the treasure that I possess, or that aesthetics is not all there is to a human being. The aesthetics that I desire for a man to see in me is my love for God. The aesthetics that I desire for a man to see in me is what's inside of me. And if man can see what's inside of you, then they will not take you for granted. They will know that you are a wife. They will know that you are a keeper. They will know that you are a Proverbs 31 woman. They will know that you are a woman that will pray them through bad health, through sickness, through bad times, that you are there to give them a word, a seasoned word that is, again, beyond what the eye can see, beyond what the ear can overhear, or what the heart can assume or expect. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the things that God will give to you, the treasures that God will give to you. Having a wife of that caliber is a gift. And some men think that they can, they desire that, and they think that they can handle that. But if that man does not have a relationship with God, and if they don't carry the spiritual mindset, then they can't see you for who you truly are. All they see is aesthetics. All they see is the idea of you, but they don't see the value of you. They don't see those components. They don't see those elements. They don't see those features inside of you that are really valuable, that are really, really rich. God has just been teaching me so much about myself. You are only going to find the best version of yourself by being in a relationship with God. And only then will you see a reflection of the true version of who you really are. I can go on and on and on talking, but I'm going to end this video. And I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Refer this to a friend, because this is going to be a channel of raw and uncut conversations. And you're going to get the sum of it, because the sum of it is always going to result in an increase. It's always going to result into a manifold and manifestation. So, baby, please hit that subscribe button. Love you guys. Peace out.